Hey everyone, this is Bill, and thank you for joining us today, where the topic is college football. The college football season is coming up quick, and some annual publications have already hit the newsstands. Today, I'm going to highlight some quarterbacks that going into the season I'm going to keep my eye on this fall. Now, last year, Caleb Williams emerged at Southern Cal to win the Heisman Trophy, and some great play was witnessed. Now, Williams is back at Southern Cal this year, so I'll be watching him. But who are some of the other quarterbacks that I'm going to be watching this fall? Now, this is not a list of the nation's best, although many of these signal callers are in that group. These are just some of the quarterbacks that, for a variety of reasons, I'm interested in seeing how they perform as we and they hit the field in 2023. Now, to start with, as we mentioned, I'm going to be watching Caleb Williams out at Southern Cal, fresh off his outstanding Heisman season. Now, has winning the award with all the amenities associated with it and the NIL opportunities got in the way of his motivation and continued development? I mean, he waved the green flag at a NASCAR race. Well, we'll have to see, but he's got skill talent everywhere and has added a top-notch receiver from Arizona and a great running back from South Carolina. So the weapons are there for Williams. The schedule allows for Williams to dust off any off-season hangover he might have, and I will no doubt be watching what another season under Lincoln Riley looks like for Williams. There will be new signal callers at most of the national championship preseason favorites: Georgia, Ohio State, and Alabama. Some of these teams remain unsettled heading into fall camp. Now, we think we know about a few. Most notably, the odds are that Kyle McCord over at Ohio State's got that job. But these battles and the performance of the winners of these battles is a big question mark heading into the season. I've got to keep my eye on each and every one of these battles. I want to see what life is like for Michigan transfer Cade McNamara over at Iowa. Now, Iowa's been putrid on offense, with most of the blame seemingly appropriately being laid at the feet of offensive coordinator Brian Ferentz. Now, is McNamara better than some of the recent Hawkeye signal callers? We're fixing to find out, and we really don't see Iowa making any material offensive changes. Now, the skill is wanting, but the entire offensive line returns. This could end badly if there's no offensive improvement for the Hawks. I'm going to be watching this situation. While Southern Cal's Williams won the Heisman Trophy, it was Washington quarterback Michael Penix Jr. who lit up the nation, throwing for over 4,600 yards and 31 touchdowns. Now, his top three receivers all returned, two of which were at the 1,000-yard level a year ago, so we expect fireworks for Washington. Now, Penix is a legitimate All-America and Heisman candidate. Now, he's had some issues staying healthy, so that is a concern. But if he does stay healthy, look out, because he's already demonstrated his ability to elevate his game. And behind him, the veteran Huskies could be a dark horse playoff candidate. Pac-12 after dark. I'll be watching. What is going on at Florida? Superstar talent Anthony Richardson is now over with the Indianapolis Colts, and there seems to be a gaping hole at the quarterback position, while the Gators await five-star commitment DJ Lagway to come in 2024. Now, Southern Cal transfer Jack Miller has failed to really emerge. So Billy Napier has brought in transfer Graham Mertz, a four-star quarterback who seemed to regress during his time with Wisconsin. Now, neither excited the spring game crowd nor the coaches. You have to expect Mertz to win the job with his starting experience, and you wonder what he has. Is he capable of raising his game? Now, the Gators got skill talent, especially in the offensive backfield. So this will be indeed interesting to watch, and I'll be doing so. I'll be watching the aftermath of how the Tigers turn. Now, Clemson has gotten rid of DJ Uiagalelei for five-star standout Cade Klubnik. Now, DJ is now at Oregon State, and that might be a great fit for him. The Beavers are stacked, and they could be a real problem out west. Keep your eye on them. At Clemson, Klubnik has looked stellar at times, but rather mundane on other occasions. Is it just the youth at play, or is he, like DJ, not the All-America type player Dabo and the Tigers think he is? Now, there is some transitional clouds forming over there at Clemson, so this whole situation bears watching, especially if Clemson struggles on Labor Day weekend at Duke, who is much better than you think they are. So you bet I'm going to be watching this whole situation out at Oregon State and especially at Clemson with Dabo. Sam Hartman really did all he could do at Wake Forest, but now he's over at Notre Dame, and he is a difference maker for the Irish at quarterback. The numbers Hartman has put up flat speak for themselves. But he's on the big stage now with the Fighting Irish. Can he rise up again and play himself into legit Heisman conversation? I wonder how the 2023 Notre Dame skill talent measures up to what Hartman had at Wake in recent years. Don't laugh. I don't see an A.T. Perry type wideout that Wake had last year ready to rock for the Irish this year. But this whole thing will be very interesting to watch, and of course I got my eyes right on it. Florida State is on the come, and while the Seminoles are improved across the board, particularly up front offensively, it really starts with quarterback Jordan Travis. Travis is elusive, and he can make plays with his feet perhaps like no one else in college football. But his improvement throwing the football is where his game and the Seminoles have really elevated. In 2022, Travis tossed 24 touchdown passes and ran for 7 more on the ground and finished as the ACC's highest graded offensive player. In 23, he has a veteran offensive line, talented backs, and a tremendous array of pass catchers to work with. If Travis can stay healthy, and especially if he elevates his game another notch, Florida State seems destined for a playoff spot. I'm in and watching. Somewhat similar to Travis, Jaden Daniels at LSU is a game-breaking signal caller who is poised to elevate his game after a very impressive 2022 in which he came over from Arizona State to direct the Tigers. Now, Daniels can make plays on the ground as well and through the air, and given the talent at LSU, expect offensive firepower. Now, we expect LSU to be very good, and it is in large measure to the expected continued development of Daniels and the arsenal of skill talent around him. I got my eyes on this team on the Bayou and in Orlando over Labor Day. Gonna be a lot of fun. LSU, watch them. Drake May had a sensational season for North Carolina last season as a freshman, placing himself deep into the Heisman discussion. Now, while rumors had May off to greener pastures in the portal over the offseason, this guy's a Tar Heel legacy player, and he's back to take North Carolina to a big season. The statistics are mind-boggling. 4,300 yards, 38 touchdown aerials to go with a 66% pass completion rate. Now, the Tar Heels lost plenty of skill in-house production, so there's work to be done. But May is not a flash in the pan, and I expect him to continue to light up opposing defenses. You can bet I'll have my eye on it. In the Pac-12, Oregon has high hopes with quarterback Bo Nix returning, and why not after his fantastic performance in 2022? Nix is quite talented and has a nice mixture of returning and portal talent on hand. But offensive coordinator Kenny Dillingham, who Nix had a long relationship with going back to Auburn, is now head coach at Arizona State, so we wonder how that's going to factor in. Additionally, I wonder if defenses may defend him a bit better this season. So that's something that I have my eye on as I watch Oregon in 2023. I'm also watching Cam Rising at Utah. Now, the Utes were a dark horse candidate for the playoff last year, and we thought so, but they stumbled out of the gate in the swamp at Florida. The heat and the setting at the swamp is just very tough. I've sat there many a time. Rising in Utah, they never really regained their footing from losing that ball game. Now, Rising's got all the tools, and when he's healthy, he can rise to Heisman contention. But he may not even get the opportunity in the opener against the Gators again this year because of an injury he suffered in the Rose Bowl. Now, I really like Cam Rising, and I'm watching to see how far he can and how far Utah can rise this season. Matt Rule is in at Nebraska. Now, Casey Thompson, the Oklahoma transfer who played well in directing the Huskers last season, he's gone off to FAU. Now, Thompson can throw it, and I expect him to excel with the Owls. Meanwhile, Jeff Sims, the former 4-star Elite 11 player, has transferred into Nebraska as a junior from Georgia Tech, and he appears to fit nicely with the vision that Rule has. So the potential for success for both of these players is exciting, and I'll be watching closely to see how it plays out. As we close, there are a couple situations I'm watching in the Big Ten. Now, Maryland never seems to live up to the perceived talent, but can Talia Tagovailoa lift the Terps? They seem ready to take the next step. Wisconsin, they welcome in SMU transfer Tanner Mordecai. Now, he flung it around at SMU, so he has the potential to thrive under new coach Luke Fickell. And everybody's raving about the new Penn State 5-star quarterback Drew Aller, who's taking over for the Lions. Now, in the limited action I have seen, nothing has stood out, but the herd is likely more on target than my limited view, so I'll be watching how he might elevate the Lions, who should be pretty doggone good this season. There are so many quarterbacks out there who can make a difference, more than a dozen or so that I did not even mention in my watch list. Two I would immediately mention are Shedeur Sanders, Deion's son out of Colorado, who might be better than we think, and Tyler Show at Texas Tech. Staying healthy is his problem, and the Tech offensive line is an issue, but otherwise the Red Raiders are stacked, and we consider them a team to watch. A healthy Show could turn many ahead across the country for the Red Raiders out there. Is there somebody out there that I missed that you think needs being talked about? Do drop us some comments and give them some publicity. It's NIL time out there. They need the publicity. Your thoughts on my list are also welcome. What did you think about what we had to say? Well, do keep an eye out for conference previews and our preseason top 25 that will be coming in as we settle in the dog days of summer here and get ready for kickoff on Labor Day weekend. We'll see you along the way. Looking forward to it. Take care.